Ladies and gentlemen, for the last time, good evening and welcome to a sprint race broadcast here in Qatar on the Lusail International Circuit. I'm Kenny Charter. I am joined by Kevin Korstein as usual. Good evening, mate.
Yeah, good evening. The final sprint weekends of the year. We are here in Qatar again for the final sprint weekends.
Indeed, we are sprinting today, and it's a high-stakes sprint, especially for the drivers' championship, as you are aware. Obviously, Quarter Kevu can mathematically wrap up his championship this weekend. Not quite today yet, because he needs to gain an extra 18 points compared to Michael Zwart. But obviously, it can also go pretty much the other way around with his current lead of 36 points. That can get reduced to potentially all the way down to 3 points if the nightmare scenario for Kevu and the dream scenario for Zwart unfolds. There is a total of 34 points to be conquered this weekend.
Let's go through the grid for the sprint because the sprint is about to start soon. We need to go the grid too. Philip Verhaeren and Jack Def will be the last two on the road. Jack Def having a pretty bad first sprint qualifying session of the day. Had a lot of traffic for both laps. Michi Meradoner and Riley Smanson doesn't look really good here. Sam Fact and Wesley Van der Steen on 16th and 17th.
Complete different story for the Haas, indeed.
Yeah, as we have Afonso and Lucas Wright. Lucas Wright doesn't seem to be happy on his car. He said that he's not happy on this weekend for his car. Väisänen starting 13th. Jason Roy being knocked out in SQ2 for the third time now. He's not looking good for Racing Bulls, but his teammate is on pole. Nick Bayer and Sarah Springfield, if you enter on the top 10 now. Back to
Sarah Springfield in a great shape this back half of the season. The trend continues, like the Kick Saubers, who will be starting 4 and 6. Josh Nathaniel will start 8. Looking to improve on that during the sprint. Michael Zwart starting P7. More satisfying than his qualifying 2 weeks ago in Vegas, but the issue for him is that Kevu will be starting on pole. Aaron Eigen, best quali so far with Mercedes with P5. Lime de la Cruz with another top 3. In quali, this time sprint quali. Remember that Lime de la Cruz has already won 2 sprints this season. And Zhao Lei with another top 2 front row for the Chinese driver. The championship leader, Quarter Kevu, starts his weekend the best way with a pole position.
Yeah. As we now get ready for the weekend, as we get ready for the sprint, the final sprint, we're getting lights out. It's not in the night as usual, it's on the day, on the night set. Let's see, the lights are out and away we go. Skevus gets a good start. Skevu gets a good start, launch off the grid, De La
Cruz seems to have a better kick than Zhao Lei from the grid, and he takes P2. The sprint expert is showing again why he is. So it's a bit of an earlier schedule than
and Michael Smart is fighting Sauber, who has confirmed being out the next season. The confirmation came through.
Looks like Zwart can actually overtake Sardinha on the outside. Yes, he does. So I was saying it's a bit of an earlier schedule than usually the races here, meaning it's still warm out here and a lot of cars are starting on hards. That will be important going into the main race tomorrow as well.
It's still Sardinha has gotten ahead with the starts and stops, so definitely his tire will be overheating. Mike Smart is not giving this one up, he's still trying And no, he's finally...
Marty Sardinia starting on soft? What?
Yeah.
Is he committing to a one-stop sprint? I mean, if there's a spot where it is possible, it would be a circuit like Barcelona or Lausanne in these conditions. And I really doubt that a one-stop sprint can be something that works at all.
And Nathaniel has time bombed Michael Sport on the final corner, and Nathaniel has got the best.
And Nathaniel sends Zwart back down to P8. That's actually quite curious.
Michael
Kevu's
Zwart
still first. Oh, Zwart with a lockup on turn number 1, second lap, and he's down all the way to the last position. Nightmare scenario for the Dutchman.
And that's not looking good for the championship, as Kevu is leading a dream for Kevu today.
It was already not looking that great, as he was maybe in contention for 1 or 2 points, but now it's gonna be no point today unless a miracle happens from now on.
And Jack Depp is 19th. It's not looking good
Both
for
Williams at the last 2 positions. What a nightmare weekend start for British team.
Jason Roy on 10th position. He needs to gain places now. He's on mediums. He has pace.
Donna Cruz is directly under Jaule's threat, just like Eigen is directly under the threat of both kick Saubers. Maybe we're gonna see a team order between Kaiser and Sardinia, but I'm not quite sure it's gonna happen, because then Nathaniel is very close behind to take advantage of any position switch at the moment.
Look at how good the scenario looks right now. The sunset on the sprint weekend.
These are very beautiful images that remind us of FP2 or late qualifying conditions in Austin, for example. Visibility can be somewhat altered in the last 4 corners of the track, but for the rest, the lighting is fantastic.
And Jason Roy is looking, no, doesn't get past. And Kevu is 2.2 seconds ahead on this third lap.
And he's on hards.
Yeah.
And maybe that's the advantage he has. Being on hards, he can actually push carelessly with his hard tire. It's gonna take the beat until the end for sure. Now the question that I'm asking myself is, are those who are using hards today gonna pay it back tomorrow? Because it's gonna be just as warm tomorrow for the race. And even though the track temperature this time of the day is not extreme,
they have a second set of hards, I think.
They probably
for the race weekend.
I mean,
have. I think they
maybe those who are using hards actually didn't use a set of hards in FP, which would explain it.
Practice, half of the grid didn't use hard tires.
Which could explain the strategy choice, indeed.
Definitely.
As
we go one more,
you can imagine, I wasn't present.
Jason Roy, can he now get past Nick Bayer here? And he's side by side now with Nick Bayer on
nice
the
overtake
inside.
with Jason
nice
Roy.
Overtake.
DRS is quite efficient on this track since
it's
cars
not
run
over yet as
quite
Nick
hard
Bayer
on
comes
course.
back. What overtake by Nick Bayer.
Oh, well, almost, he almost touched gravel there, Jason Roy, but he's gonna have another opportunity. I said I wasn't present in Qatar quite yet yesterday. I was able to join only from today. So I had quite a bit of data and replays to catch up while I was rejoining the track. Look at the lighting on the track. This is just beautiful. It's a great idea to have such a... I mean, a time like this and a lighting like this. Great idea from the organizers here. It's early in the evening. Well, early in the evening. Technically, it's 4 p.m., but just looks like a sunset. So.
And Nathaniel has get past Sergeant here. Sardinia has been passed.
Sardinia is struggling hard on his soft.
And still Roy is behind. Big bear. Is he going to try here? No.
Fascinating now applying more and more pressure on Jason Roy. The Ferrari seems to be working fine this weekend, and indeed they've been good all season long on tracks that demand downforce, and especially so in fast corners, and we have plenty of these. They also seem to behave pretty well in hairpins, and there are a couple, well, mostly one in fact, that is turn number 7, I forgot. This one right here. And so it's not surprising to see the Ferraris having pace here. Will have to be seen if the hard tires were the right choice, or if the mediums were more adapted. So far, Kevu is leading quite comfortably on fresh hards versus fresh mediums, which means that performance-wise, that tire is certainly not struggling that much.
There's a lot of dust here. I have seen on the cameras, and everywhere you can see on the cameras there is a lot of dust on the surface.
Dust on the track indeed, and especially outside of the trajectory, and especially that there's not much rubber yet on the track. We've had only one free practice session and then sprint quali. This race is certainly going to help to rubber the track a bit more, especially that last night apparently there was a lot of wind blowing quite a bit of anything that was, well, any kind of deposits on the track. Hey, the wind seems pretty calm.
Saw the sweepers on the track on the moment. There's a lot of dust. Now it seems to be fine. Liam de la Crosse has closed in and is trying something here.
I mean, if you have to take advantage of the mediums against the hard, it is the time to do so.
We saw it in qualifying as Michael Swart was
surprising to see Sardinia dropping down the order on softs early in the sprint. Softs are not working for him today.
Yeah, third air tolerance comes to play here because there is a lot of third air. We saw it yesterday on sprint qualifying with Michael Smart and Liam Delagras. Liam Delagras was ahead and Mike Smart was following him, but lost 6 to 7 tenths, nearly 7 tenths. So yeah, that was pretty much.
Geisner and Sardinia were... Where were they on the grid? They were 4 and 6, now they're 5 and 8. They both lost in positions. Aaron Egan gained 1 from the start, is only 3 seconds behind Zhao Lei. This is one of the gaps we're going to look after closely, because Egan on his mediums needs to bridge the gap as soon as possible. Trying to apply pressure on Lime de la Cruz. It's gonna be his last sprint race in F1CC.
Kontagemo has pushed away again. Zhao Lei is now giving him pressure.
Look at how Zhao Lei is doing, preparing his attack on the main straight. There's only one DRS zone, that is the main straight. It is possible to overtake, maybe between turns 6 and 9, I would say. Second sector, maybe possible to do moves there. Oh, Mahadoner, who apparently made a mistake. We are going to see that on the replay. So he's in the dirty air, and yeah, classic dirty air understeer for Michi.
And a lot of dust kicked on the circuit again.
Going down from where was he? P12 to P16, is that correct?
Yeah, P12. He was P12.
10 laps to go. We're almost halfway through the sprint. So in order, Kevu with 8 more points. Getting closer and closer and closer to his World Driver Championship. De la Cruz is second. A second behind. Zhao Lei right behind him. And in the meantime, Jason Roy trying to make a move on Bayer. But the German driver holds his position. Jason Roy trying to make a move on the outside, but he went wide. Väisänen is not able to take advantage of it. Maybe he's gonna have a look on the next slow section. Not quite yet. It is extremely difficult to overtake here. So this braking zone might be an opportunity, but we see a lot more overtakes in bike races than we see in F1CC, obviously, in that sector.
What a good helicopter shot we have on these 3 cars.
Some of these corners allow for different trajectories as well. It's pretty fun.
Yeah, we can see
Väisänen maybe with a move there? No, not quite.
No.
But Väisänen's gonna be so close. Of course, Roy will have the DRS, but Väisänen's gonna be so close and maybe able to attack Jason Roy on the straight. Nice exit on the last corner, and then there's gonna be a chance. A2 Väisänen is so close. Does he have some ERS? It looks like he has, but Ferrari's speed in straights is somewhat disappointing. Look at how Jason Roy has made up ground on Bayer, and Väisänen is just not able to keep up. That's gonna be the issue for Ferrari the whole weekend. They need to qualify well and play well on strategy, because they probably won't be able to overtake most cars.
No, they don't have the straight line speed issue. They have cornering issue around here. So
and the Bayer train.
Yeah.
Train definitely goes to the top 8's favor, and Sardinia is now comfortably sitting on 8th place.
Yeah. And Jason Roy has dropped the DRS. Jason Roy has actually dropped out of DRS, so Väisänen has a chance now. And oh, look how much DRS he uses! And he's going fast.
Väisänen is he able to overtake?
That's straight line speed.
This time it might be enough, but watch out as Roy will have the better line in turn number 2. Väisänen, however, what a corner speed Roy was able to find that next corner. I really didn't think so, but I believe he used some ERS on the exit that Väisänen kept up, and Väisänen completes the overtake. Well done by the Finn, because this is not easy around his place, and even less when you have a speed deficit compared to your opponent. 2/3 into this sprint, less than 7 laps, well actually 7 laps remaining at the end of this lap, and Porter Kevu is flying. He's 3 seconds ahead of Liam de la Cruz, another 1.2 ahead of Zhao Lei. Aaron Eigen has a very promising pace with his Mercedes, and race after race, the Turkish driver, he's feeling better and better with his new car and showing his true pace.
And Väisänen's already moving. Look how Väisänen is looking to get past. And is he going to get past? There is defending. Väisänen is going through.
Nice defending by Bayer, but watch out, because if you hold the inside line going into turn 1, you're gonna have an issue in the next turn. Eetu Väisänen is making moves with a car that is certainly not tailored for overtaking. They do not have the top speed that the McLarens and the McLaren, Aston Martin, who was quite fast in straights in Vegas as well. Haas was very good in straights. We can include them in the mix as well. Red Bull, obviously, since the beginning of the season. They do not quite have that. So, to be able to make moves like this requires definitely skill, and we know Eetu Väisänen is a very skilled fighter, very clean in defending and overtaking. In fact, he's only been involved in a couple incidents at the beginning of the season, one directly with his teammate, and his crash in Suzuka. No, it was in Shanghai. It was in Shanghai. But besides that, he's been driving really clean.
Jason Roy is trying again, and now can he get past? Yes, finally he's past Nick Bayer. And finally Jason Roy has got the past there. What the sunset we have here now on this late
Have a radio call from the Haas of Afonso Cassinho, complaining that he's lacking of pace. We have 0 pace, guys. That's what he's saying. And then censored word. We can imagine not the kindest. Frustrating situation for the Haas, who have been so performant in Brazil, in Nevada. Less so today, at least. 5 laps to go. 4.5 laps to go. Kevu still leading by the same margin. De La Cruz second, Jaule third, Keisner fourth, and the gap between Jaule and Robin Keisner has not dropped. They are the same lap times, around the high 25s. Aaron Hagen is now suffering a bit more. Nick Bayer has taken his position back, and it is the timing where the hard tires are getting more and more comfortable, and they have now a real health difference compared to the mediums. Have we crossed the crossover point yet? I am not sure. As it stands, the World Drivers' Championship, Qatar Kevu currently has 217 points, with Vault up to 225. Michael Zwart at 183 doesn't gain any points. He will be trailing by 42 points. Jack Teff likewise at 181 will be trailing by 44 points. Lime De La Cruz is currently 54 points behind at 163. He's gaining 7. He will be trailing by 55 if the ranking stays like this. Eetu Väisänen, currently not scoring points, will be 64 points behind and pretty much already mathematically out of the battle. It's a huge moment for the Estonian.
Yeah, definitely. Väisänen is closing in on Sardinha. Estonian has been successfully leading this one from the start to finish, and has the fastest lap also. Three laps to go. Let's see now. Väisänen has, Väisänen has closed in on Sardinha for the final point. Let's see, will it happen now? Because we know Ferrari has top speed now. They have the top speed here. We have seen it in practice. They're close, not enough for this lap.
Remember, Sardinia is on softs. He might be struggling towards the end of the race. Lime De La Cruz is trying to apply pressure. 24.4, that his previous lap, 1.6 seconds faster than Kevu. This sprint is not over yet. But even if Kevu finishes second, it is a huge result for him in regards to the Drivers' Championship.
Yeah, but Liam De La Cruz has closed the gap. But will Quarter Kevu make the same move he did already a few laps ago? He has been keeping the gap the same, but now he has let De La Cruz in his DRS. Let's see what the Estonian will do. He's using ERS to stay ahead. De La Cruz isn't even closing in.
Looks like De La Cruz has been using ERS to bridge the gap. It could explain why he's struggling to actually attack. Maybe what he's hoping is to push Kevu to a mistake.
And let's see now.
How Väisänen is using the curbs more than Sardinia does. Completely different driving style.
And Liam De La Cruz is outside the DRS zone again. And look at the sunset here. Getting ready
And now
for
the gap has increased all again between Kevo and De La Cruz. It was a kind of a desperate attempt to close the gap and apply pressure, but it looks like De La Cruz killed what remained as life on his tires, and he's now back up to 2.3 seconds behind the Estonian. Väisänen trying to make a move in at a spot we never see any move. And Väisänen is now complaining about I don't know what exactly, but he seemed to be complaining at this last lap. Must be frustrated to not be able to overtake, because now this is the final lap. It's his final chance to overtake and get the last point available for this sprint.
And
He's very
Nathaniel has
close, might be able
overtaken
to do
Robin
so.
Geisler. Nathaniel has overtaken Robin Geisler. We didn't see it live on screen, but we see this on live on screen.
And Väisänen has taken the advantage over Sardinia, who's struggling probably a bit too much on his soft tires now. And the Saubers qualified quite well. They've dropped all the way to 6 and 9, drinking only 3 points back from this sprint. Eetu Väisänen will take the 8th spot. And in the meantime, Quarter Kevu is cruising his way all the way to a pretty clinical win.
He's actually pushing hard. We can see how much he's pushing now. Has pushed away. He was 1.0.
Never was in trouble.
Yeah. And here he is through the final corner. Full 8 points. Meanwhile, his rivals didn't even score anything. 10 points. 8 points gained. Kortki won with 10 points.
Quarter Kevu wins the Lusail sprint. Lime De La Cruz with another great sprint. 2 wins and now a second place to add up. Jaule with a great third place finish. Josh Nathaniel gained 3 positions from the start, finishes 5. Aaron Egan gained 1, finishes P4. Great results for him. Robin Keisner 6th, Sarah Springfield 7th, gained 2 spots from the start. Eetu Väisänen manages to get the last point available. Notable event on this sprint race, the mistake from Michael Zwart, who from a P7 on the grid finishes 18th. But this is not over yet. If the scenario is flipped and reversed on the main race, the championship will be still up for grabs in Abu Dhabi.
Yeah, here it is. All sprint results for today. No podium here, but this is the final sprint then. The final. And this is it. Quarter Kevo won it by quite a gap. 8 points gains.
The gap up to 42.
Yeah.
He needs 52 points of a gap before Abu Dhabi to be crowned world champion here in Lusail.
It can happen now. 10 points is needed. He needs 5th or worse here.
He needs 5th or worse if and only if Michael Zwart doesn't score points.
Yeah.
Obviously, depending on how many points Michael Zwart scores, the required result would be a lot better. He needs to win if Michael Zwart is 3rd. He needs a P2 if Michael Zwart is 6th. And a P3 if Michael Zwart is 8th, if I'm not wrong. So those are the scenarios where Kevu could be crowned world champion. And in fact, if we flip it in the other way, that means that if Kevu wins, Zwart needs to be P2 at least. And with just a podium, Zwart needs a P8, a P7 at least, to bring the championship to Abu Dhabi.
That's on tomorrow of the day. At evening, we see the qualifying for the main race. This was the final sprint of the weekend, so I like
Final
you to
sprint
thank
of the
you.
season.
Yeah, final sprint of the season. I would like you all to thank you for joining us for this sprint weekend here in Lusail, Qatar. The final sprint weekend of the season. So yeah, bye for us and see you at the evening for full qualifying.